while the first book of Acts focuses on not worrying about the future, but rather trusting in Jesus, that he has ascended, and that our job is to therefore go and be witnesses. Acts, Luke 24, 44 through 53, which closes out the book of Luke and serves as a bridge before we get to Acts, is Jesus opening their minds, giving them a glimpse of understanding, and saying, I have opened your mind a little bit to the glory and wonder of God. When after I ascend and when I'm in heaven, I will send you the Spirit of power and the Spirit of understanding, so that you can act and do the will of God on earth. Now, this is always one of the challenges of reading the book of Matthew. In the book of Matthew and the Sermon on the Mount, Jesus says, even though you say, Lord, Lord, if you don't do the will of the Father, I'll have nothing to do with you. With the judgment of the sheep and goats, when were you like this? When were you in prison? When were you in jail? There's all of these questions about how do we understand? How do we know? How do we know the right thing to do? How do we know God's will? Being as corrupt and sinful as we are, how do we put on the correct robes for the wedding banquet? How do we keep our lamps filled? And Jesus says at the end of Luke, you will know because my Spirit will be in you to guide you and direct you, to work my grace within you, transforming you and making you a vessel for my love. But I have to go first. Jesus has to ascend so that the Holy Spirit can enter into the disciples. That which was one with Jesus must leave the throne of grace. In fact, at Pentecost we could say, Emmanuel, God is with us. Once again, just like we do at Christmas. Except the Emmanuel with us is not a babe in the manger, but God's love in the manger of our hearts. In order for that to occur, Jesus must first ascend. And so Luke ends with Jesus saying goodbye. We say goodbye to the physical manifestation of God so that we can more fully experience the spiritual indwelling of God.